Hi, everyone. My name is Lindsay Buchanan. I'm a solutions engineer here at Veza. And today we're going to walk through how Veza can help with a really common challenge most organizations face. And this is that they can't really easily identify who has access to what across all the different systems in their environment. So think cloud service providers, data lakes, SaaS apps, on-prem apps, and so on. It's really difficult to understand where that access came from and what that access actually means in terms of what actions a user can take on your resources. So this is a really complex problem to solve, but Vesa helps by unifying identities and entitlements across people and machines, apps, and data, whether that's on premises or in the cloud. And Vesa has over 2,000 pre-built insights to help you detect things like privileged users, dormant permissions, policy violations, misconfigurations, and more. And these are ready to go as soon as we ingest your data. And they're also risk informed using our comprehensive risk framework to really help you identify where to focus for maximum impact. And based on these insights, based on these highlighted risks, actions can be taken through things like alerting, sending a ticket to your help desk, or even launching an access review. So, getting into the product, what we're looking at right now is our identity security posture management dashboard. Any of our out of the box integrations like GitHub or Salesforce or AWS are going to come with a similar set of dashboards like this to provide you with those quick insights into risks in your environment. And you can also create custom dashboards for whatever risks are most critical to your business. Let's look at a few of these, a few examples of the kind of insights we deliver now. So we highlight things like credentials that haven't been rotated, high-risk users across platforms. We can also highlight things like users with no MFA and so on. So digging into one dashboard in a little bit more detail, we can look at what the components of these dashboards are. So we're looking at local Snowflake users that don't have MFA enabled, and this is a pretty critical risk because these accounts are really just one credential away from potential compromise. So the first thing you'll see here is we have a chart to measure change over time. So you can keep track of your progress as you remediate a risk, or you can quickly identify anything strange like a large spike here. You'll also see a risk explanation and remediation steps, so you can understand why this has been identified as a risk and what you should do about it. And scrolling down, here are the identities that meet the criteria for this risk, the users that have this local Snowflake access and no MFA enabled. Also note this risk score column here. These risk scores are powered by Veza's risk framework. So any query that an identity appears in that has a risk associated with it will contribute to this risk score. And you can view all the different risks associated with an identity from right here. You can also open any of these dashboards in the graph to do more investigation on how this access maps across the environment. And you can take actions from here, like launching an access review or setting up alerts that are trigger based. So we can set this to if these query results have increased by more than one, if one more person gets access to something without MFA, then we can go ahead and send an alert. So we can have that sent via your email. We could send a ticket to your help desk. We could send a ticket to some sort of messaging service like Slacks or Teams, things like that. And we can create an access review from here as well. That would be a trigger-based access review. So overall, Vesa really helps to solve that critical challenge of understanding who can take what action on what data by mapping access across your systems, highlighting risks based on our risk framework, and facilitating remediation through alerting and access reviews.